Welcome students. Today we are going to learn about the lesson Woman, which is written by Ismat Chughtai. It's an essay. Ismat Chughtai, you can see her image in this photograph. Ismat Chughtai is a popular Indian Urdu writer. So basically we can see that she writes in Urdu and she is very well known. She is very popular for her feminist ideology. This particular essay, Women, deals with the outlook of man on women in the past and present in a satirical and humorous way. So this deals with the outlook of man on women. Let's see how the feminist ideology works and what is feminism. This essay, Women, is originally written in Urdu, as we already knew that Ismat Chughtai is a Urdu writer, and later it was translated into English by Tahira Naqvi. That's why we need to remember both the writers' names, that is the first original writer, that is Ismat Chughtai, and the second, the translator, and that is she is Tahira Naqvi. We need to remember both the names. Generally, the themes of Ismat Chughtai consists of female sexuality, femininity, middle class gentility. So what do we mean by female sexuality? Actually, female sexuality is a broad idea which consists of female sexual identity, sexual behavior, psychological, physiological, social, cultural, political and spiritual aspects. So this is not a simple thing to understand, but if we keep on reading this kind of literature, then we can understand the concepts of female sexuality. And the second one, what is femininity? Femininity is nothing but the qualities, the characteristics, the attributes regarded as the features of women, the characteristics of women. So basically women is considered to be having specific characteristics. Those characteristics are called femininity. Basically, if we can compare men and women, they are typically they are different from each other in physiology, in physical structure and in many other things also. And the opposite of femininity is masculinity, which refers to men, which refers to males. And the third one, what is middle class gentility? Middle class gentility is nothing but the typical behavior that is habituated to the middle class people, the polite manners, the social etiquettes that have been taught by their parents from childhood. This is called middle class gentility. As we discussed earlier in the last slides, the essay Woman deals with the outlook of man on women in the past and present in a satirical or humorous manner. So it deals with the outlook of man on woman. Before going into the essay, this lesson, we would like to focus on the glossary first, so that we can understand the difficult words which occur in the lesson and we can understand the lesson easily. So this is called glossary, and let's look into the glossary first. Here are the difficult words that occur in the lesson. The first one is baffle. Baffle is a verb. Baffle, baffled, baffled. So the meaning is to confuse, to make someone confused is called baffle. Proclamation, it's a noun and the meaning is a statement. Someone gives a statement, that is called proclamation. Sometimes, occasionally, if a law comes into force from a particular date, it is also called proclamation, a statement. Extol. Extol is a verb, and extol means to praise, to commend. And bewilder. Bewilder is a verb and it means to confuse. Again, baffle and bewilder both gives us the same meaning, to confuse, to make someone confused, that is bewilder. Next one, faint-hearted. We all know the meaning of the word heart, and it's an adjective. Faint-hearted means lacking courage. We can also call it weak-hearted, not having the braveness, not having the courage to act or do something. So it is called weak-hearted, faint-hearted. The last one in this slide is ravage. Ravage is a verb. Ravage means to cause severe damage. So if you destroy something, if you demolish something, if you undermine something, then it is called ravage. Next one is plunder. Plunder is a noun. Plunder means to steal. Plunder means to steal, to rob, to loot, whatever is the thieves do, the robbers do, is called plunder. Illegitimate is an adjective. It's an opposite of legitimate. Legitimate means legal, which is approved by law, and here is the word, the antonym of legitimate is illegitimate. That means not approved by the law. Let's look at the meaning. Unacceptable according to the law. Unacceptable according to the law, that means that something that is prohibited by the law, something that is against the law, illegal, unlawful. Okay, all those things come under this. Confound, it's a verb. To surprise somebody. If you try to surprise somebody, then it is called confound. Ridiculous. Ridiculous is an adjective. It's a popular word, and ridiculous means silly, something that is absurd, meaningless. Distortion is a noun. The meaning is to change the shape. Distort, distortion. So if something tries to change the shape of the other thing, then it is called a distortion. Here you can see an image. It's an image of a word which is difficult to be explained. That's why I try to give you the image, and it is called hookah. Hookah is a kind of a cigarette or cigar or a pipe or something, but it is a old fashioned way. That means in the Middle Ages, the kings and emperors used to, the nawabs used to have this hookah. So you can see the hookah and the smoke coming out of the person. And in today's world also we can see some hookah centers in metro cities. Wretched, it's an adjective, and we need to remember that the W is the silent one, so it should be pronounced as wretched. And the meaning is feeling unhappy, miserable. Feeling sad, unhappy, uneasy, miserable is called wretched. Reiterate, verb, to repeat something. If someone tries to tell you something repeatedly, it can be called reiterate. To emphasize something, to tell you something repeatedly. At home we usually face these kind of situations. Our mother tells us something repeatedly. She reiterates things. Take care of yourself, have your lunch properly at right time, go to bed, all these things. So next one is hookah. It's a noun, an oriental tobacco pipe. Just we have seen in the last slide, hookah. It's kind of a cigar or a cigarette, but a very huge one. And the next one is compel. Compel is a verb that means to force somebody. If you force somebody to do something, then it is called compel. Compel, compelled, compelled. Eradicate is a verb, to destroy, to get rid of. The best example could be India successfully eradicated smallpox, and it is still trying to eradicate polio from our country. So sooner or later we will achieve the target also. Now let us come to the main theme of this essay. Woman is judged in different ways. From ancient times, women are being judged in different ways by the poets, the prose writers, the essayists, the novel writers, and all other literary masters. A few men focus on the beauty of a woman, and few others discuss her purity and chastity. So in some poems or in some novels, some poets and some novelists, they describe the beauty of the women. They describe the beauty of the women. And in some other poems and epics, the purity and chastity of the women were glorified. So it was a glorification of the purity and chastity of women in some epics. She may be treated to next to God. So some other poets, they compared women equal to God. They compared them equal to God and they made them goddesses. They described them as goddesses. Whereas these are the positive aspects about the woman. Some poets, some literary masters, literary figures, they condemned, they criticized the woman also. For instance, some poets compared women as Satan's aunt and devil's friend, like this. So what is Satan's aunt? Satan is a main evil character that we can find in Paradise Lost. That means Satan is a evil person. He is just like the villain in our movies. Not only in the ancient novels and epics, in today's movies and serials, TV serials also we can find these kind of examples. For example, we can see so many wicked characters in our daily TV serials. They portray women as villains, they portray women as negative characters, they portray women as murderers also. We can understand that by looking at all these things, women is being judged in different ways since ancient days. And what about men? Aren't they being judged? They are too judged, but the emphasis is on women. For instance, a woman's beauty is described in glorified in 2 or 3 pages in an epic, whereas the man's beauty is described in only 1 paragraph. So this is the comparison that we need to understand. And now the most important question arises. What is the real intention behind all these attributes? By glorification of their beauty, glorification of women's purity and chastity, praising them as equal to God, or criticizing as Satan's aunt. What is the real intention behind all these glorifications and criticisms? The real intention behind all these attributes is to make women submissive. So what is the meaning of the word submissive? Submissive came from the word submission, to surrender, to become a slave. So from the ancient ages, men wanted to make women as their slaves or as their workers and keep them submissive. In other words, the true intention behind all these glorifications and criticisms is either lift the women to sky, that means to praise them and make them feel elated, feel too happy, or fling to mud. Fling to mud means to criticize. So when you make a person elated, that means too happy, he forgets what is happening around him and he listens to you, he serves you, he accepts whatever you say. So this is the secret behind all these things. Fling to mud, fling means to throw. If you throw mud at a person, he feels ashamed, he feels insecure, he feels weak, and he feels inferior. And in that condition of inferiority, he listens to you, he serves you, he feels you are superior and they are inferior. He accepts that, he believes that. So these are the 2 strategies that were used by the ancient people to make the women submissive from the olden days. To be honest, men feel ashamed to call her a friend. So who is a friend? Friend is a person who is on a equal status with us. We cannot make friendship with a person who is superior to us in designation or in financial position or in any other thing. And at the same time, we can't also make friendship with a person who is inferior to us. So So usually when you look at the world, generally friendship is made between two persons who are of equal status, but here men feel ashamed to call her a friend. So men do not accept women as their friends. Either they elate them, that means either they glorify them, or they try to criticize them. That means either they want to make them superior, and or they want to make them inferior. In both these states, the subjects do not understand what is happening and they become submissive. So men do not accept women as friends. When they accept women as friends, they have to provide them the equal status, but men are not willing to provide them the equal status in this world. That's why they try to do all kinds of gimmicks or use several strategies to make women submissive. Here, the author raises many questions on gender discrimination. So, what is gender discrimination? If you discriminate a person based on their gender, then it is called gender discrimination. For instance, if you look at the jobs which are available in the society today, you can see several jobs are exclusively meant for men, which are not allowed for the women. And if you observe more carefully, you can see several departments which are allowing the women into their jobs recently. That means if you take the statistics of last 10 or 15 years, and you can see they are allowing women also. For instance, the police department, the TSRTC, that is the Road Transport Corporation. Earlier there were no women conductors, and now you can see women conductors also. And now we can see there is a huge jump of women constables also, because of the establishment of she teams and women police stations. There is a good recruitment for the women constables. So that gave rise to the improvement of number of women constables in the department. However, in several job posts we don't find any women. For example, heavy vehicle drivers. Not only this, in so many other hazardous jobs also, women are not allowed. Now we need to look into that main thing, that is why the discrimination existed. The main reason could be the ideology or the thought patterns of the parents also. Since parents used to give much priority to their sons, not to their daughters, and usually in the earlier days they used to provide higher education, quality education to their sons, and when they come to their daughters, they used to send them to the government schools, or not much interested in providing them quality education. Fortunately, the times have been changed. Now parents are thinking in a broader manner, and they are also sending their daughters to higher education also. So we could see a gradual change in the thought patterns of the parents, and now women are able to get good education everywhere. On the positive side, if you take the political scenario, there are so many cabinet ministers, women cabinet ministers, women ambassadors, women representatives in the UNO, women high commissioners. So women are proving themselves by performing well in higher and reputed positions also, in banking, industrial, financial and political sectors also. And if we focus on the negative side, in the ground level, in the political sector, the Sarpanch, the MPTC, the Jilla Parishad chairman or Mandal Parishad chairman, these posts were reserved to the women, but unfortunately, even they are elected as chairmen or members, the posts were after the election, their husbands or their fathers will take over the place and they will look after everything, making these members and chairmen a puppet. Unfortunately, this is happening, and if we can overcome this thing, we can definitely eradicate the gender discrimination. And if we look into the ancient days, there were so many evil customs. There used to be so many evil customs. And for example, a widow is denied bangles and colorful clothes. In the Middle Ages, when the husband dies, the widow she had to tonsure her head. That means no hair and denied bangles. She shouldn't wear any bangles and she shouldn't wear any colorful clothes. So these are the restrictions that were imposed on the widows in those days. And these restrictions not applied for the widower. If a person's wife dies, these restrictions do not apply at that time. Fortunately, later there were so many reformist movements and there were so active social reformers like Rajaram Mohan Rai and many other social reformers. They did their best and they fought against these evil customs and they tried to abolish these customs. Because of their actions, today we don't have these kind of evil customs. And the essayist, that is Ismat Chugtai, is hopeful that the days are changing as well as the roles of women. Yes, just now we have seen the days are changing. Women are moving forward. They are getting equal opportunities with men in almost every aspect, every field, every sector. They are performing well in various professions and domestic work and child care also. Not only that, in these days men are also focusing on taking care of their children and doing some domestic work. So this is a change that we sought and which we acquired. We achieved this change. Old customs will vanish and women will have equality. And the essayist Ismat Chugtai believes that old customs will vanish, disappear, and women will have equality. So soon we will have equality, women's equality with men. This is the belief the essayists have. And the essayist also says that in a college, a woman is a teacher. She is not a mother, she is not a daughter. Because the society is habituated to believe that whenever she sees a woman in a professional position, they look at them as mothers and daughters or sisters, not as a professional person, professional worker. So Ismat Chugtai says that when a woman is a teacher in a school, she is a teacher only. Do not look at her as a mother. Do not treat her as a daughter. When she is in a school, she is a teacher. In an office, she is neither faithful or faithless. So do not generalize women as faithful or faithless. The societies already have the tendency to generalize women in different ways. So here the essayist requests us not to treat women as faithful or faithless. Do not classify them. Women can be faithful or faithless. Do not generalize them. And neither weak nor strong. Here also one generalization we can find. Do not generalize women as weak or strong. Weak and strong are the characteristics that we can find in women and men, both the genders. So do not generalize here. Again, the essayist Ismat Chugtai says that marriage is not the only goal for women. For ancient ages, so for so many old days, people believe that marriage is the only goal for women. And many parents also feel that when they get married, when they get their daughters married, they will be free. That's why all the time their goal, their aim is to get their daughters married. So this shouldn't be the thing. this is the hope of the essayist, is that the woman will take her rightful place beside a man. So she will be equal to man, not above, not below. She should be equal to a man and leads a respectable life. So all these thing is about self-respect. You should have the self-respect. So for that self-respect, women have been striving hard for ages. So this is the concept about women.